Kate's in the kitchen, and you're invited too. I'm Kate, and this is my kitchen. Happy 4th of July. I'm going to make a roasted potato salad. I normally do this in a very hot oven, about 400 degrees, but today I'm going to do it on the grill. I've got 3 pounds of the little Yukon Gold potatoes, the baby ones. I've washed those and drained them. Got some fresh parsley, fresh thyme, some green onions, garlic and shallots, and then olive oil, salt and pepper, and some good balsamic vinegar. And I know that one of my favorite chefs on TV says use good vanilla, use good this, and people make fun of her, but she's absolutely right. The quality of ingredients, especially when you're doing something this fresh and so few ingredients, really does matter. So I'm gonna go ahead and chop up my parsley and my thyme, and I'm going to roast the garlic, the whole bulb. I'm gonna peel these and split them and roast these as well, and the green onions. The first thing I'm going to prep is my garlic. You just need to cut the top off. We're gonna leave it in the husk. And I'm doing 2 of these because one of these is going to be for my roasted corn salad, which is going to be a separate video. Okay, so we've got those. Put them on a piece of foil. We're going to drizzle them with some olive oil. Try and get it down into the nooks and crannies there. And this is going to go onto the grill first because it takes the longest to do. Just bunch it up so it's nice and tight. The heat and the steam created inside are going to help this cook and get soft and sweet. I've got my grill preheated, and I do have one side that's hot and one side that's just warm. The garlic's going to go on the warm side because it's going to cook low and slow. I'm just going to trim the ends off the shallots and cut them in half and peel off that outer skin. So I'm going to do this with several shallots. My green onions, which I've washed, I'm going to cut off the top, maybe third of the green part. And the rest of these are going to go into their bowl with the shallots. I'm going to toss these with a little bit of olive oil. I'm going to give them a little bit of salt and pepper as well. Toss that again. Get them all coated with the seasoning. And then I've got this grill basket that I'm going to place them in so I can flip them easily and hopefully nothing will fall out. I'm going to cut the potatoes in half. If they're larger, you can cut them in quarters like this. You can also use regular potatoes. You don't need to use the baby. You really can do this with whatever potato you have and just cut them into chunks. If you get the really small ones, you can leave them whole, and then you'll have nice crispy skin all around. I'm going to cover these liberally with some olive oil. And then I'm going to add some salt and pepper. We like lots of pepper on our potatoes. And a good amount of salt. Potatoes, like tomatoes and corn, can take a lot of salt. And then I'm going to give them a little bit of garlic powder. And some onion powder. So we're not just going to put dressing on potatoes to flavor them. We're going to flavor the potatoes as they cook on the grill. All right, I'm going to put these in the grill basket and take them out to the grill. I've got the potatoes on the right side of the grill. The burners are not on. I just want the indirect heat from the 3 burners that are on for the ribs, and that will roast the potatoes without burning them. I've got 1 sprig of fresh oregano, and I put it on the grill just for maybe a minute each side, just to char it a little and give it a little smoky flavor. This will burn very quickly, so don't walk away. I'm going to go ahead and chop that up. I'm going to add my thyme and chop that in there as well. It's about a teaspoon of thyme, fresh, and about 2 tablespoons of fresh parsley. And I'm going to chop that all up together very fine and set it aside. My grilled shallots, I'm going to chop those up as well. Just a rough chop. If you get one that's a little too much like the skin, just get rid of that. Boy, do these smell good. People say gas grills don't impart any flavor. I haven't smelled these charred shallots. All right, we're going to put those in the bowl. I've got my scallions. I'm going to cut the ends off. And then again, just chop these up. The roasting of these vegetables is really going to lift the flavor of this roasted potato salad. And if you've got any that are just a little too stringy, don't want to chop up, just pull them out, like this one here. He doesn't want to chop. All right, and those are going to go into the bowl as well. This is going to be a warm vinaigrette, so the first thing I'm going to add is about a tablespoon of Dijon mustard. Dijon is how I always start my vinaigrettes because it has a little tang and sharpness to it, and it also helps emulsify a dressing. I'm just going to mix that in. Now you could do the dressing part before you chop up the scallions and the shallots, but it really doesn't matter. I'm going to add a couple of tablespoons of really good balsamic vinegar. It's from Modena, which is the vinegar capital of Italy, and therefore the vinegar capital of the world. Okay, you can see it's getting thick. Add some salt and pepper. You're going to want quite a bit of salt and pepper because this is going on 3 pounds of potatoes. Now at this point, I always give this a taste before I start adding my olive oil. So I'm just going to taste a little bit. If I get a little bit of onion, that's fine. Delicious. That good vinegar really does make the difference. I'm going to work in a little bit of olive oil. But not equal amounts, which is my normal vinaigrette, 50-50 on vinegar and olive oil, because this is actually going to get butter in it. I'm going to add all my finely minced herbs. And then a half a stick of butter. and just throw it onto the grill to let the butter melt. I've got my roasted garlic off the grill. I'm going to make sure it's done. If it's done, ooh, it's hot. It should squeeze out of the bulb easily. So let's give that a shot. Yep, see how it just oozes out. So I'm going to go ahead and get all that out of both of these and rinse it up a little. Once in a while you might get a clove or two that don't want to come out. You can just dig the tip of your knife in there and get it out. So there we have our minced roasted garlic. I'm going to save about half of this for the roasted corn salad that I'm going to be making, and the rest of this I'm going to put into the dressing for the potato salad. There's our dressing, and I added the roasted garlic. It's really soft, so it blends right in. You can see that the butter has completely melted. And then I will just set this aside until the potatoes are done roasting, and they go into the dressing hot. So if the butter has started to set, it melts it all, and it blooms all the flavor of the herbs. Absolutely delicious. Here we have our roasted potatoes with the roasted vegetable vinaigrette. We're going to go ahead and put those into a bowl. Scrape out all that good dressing. Now I'm just going to garnish it with a little bit of sliced scallion. And a little bit of parsley. And these are ready to go as well.